Hi. All right, so today I'm going to talk about a developer tool called Kinobi. The main purpose of Kinobi is to help Solana programs reach their consumers. By consumers, I mean wallets, explorers, decentralized applications, users, and even other programs as program dependencies. Kinobi does that by offering a standard that extracts as much information as possible from Solana programs. We call the standards an interface definition language, or IDL for short. We can then deploy these IDLs on-chain, allowing anyone to retrieve them securely. Great, but I know what you're thinking. How is it different from an Anchor IDL, right? Well, Well, Anchor is an opinionated framework, meaning its IDL makes plenty of assumptions. Let me show you an example. This is how strings are described in Anchor. Now, if you give me a bunch of bytes and tell me string, I still have plenty of questions. For instance, what is the size of the string, and how is it encoded? And the answer to all these questions with Anchor is Bosh, and sometimes ByteMuck. But these aren't the only serialization strategies out there. In contrast, let me show you how Kinobi defines strings. Kinobi is designed as a tree of node. So in order to define a string type, we need a string type node. It has an encoding attribute telling us how the byte should be interpreted. Now, this node alone has no size constraint. To add one, we wrap it in a size prefix type node. Now we know that the size of the string should be encoded before its content. But we still don't know how that size should be encoded. That's why we also provide a number type node to define that size prefix. And just like that, we also define a Bosh string. However, Kinobi doesn't select serialization strategies. Instead, it provides small puzzle pieces that you can assemble to create any complex type you want. Additionally, Kinobi enables programs to depend on the IDLs of other programs, which opens up new possibilities. For instance, consider an instruction that initializes counter accounts, and the create account instruction from the system program that we all know. Now, imagine an instruction bundle node that's like, hey, if you use create account before initialize counter, you will end up creating a new counter account, right? Now we can generate helper functions for these bundles, and explorers can display more useful information to their users. OK, cool. So now, how do I actually get a Kinobi IDL from my program? Well, for starters, if you have an Anchor program, then your Anchor IDL can be converted into a Kinobi IDL. If you're using Shank macros to get an Anchor IDL from your vanilla Solana program, then the same applies to you, right? And finally, we're currently working on a set of macros that can extract Kinobi IDLs from any program directly. Right, now that we have our Kinobi IDL, what can we use it for? Well, wallets and explorers can already benefit from this by accessing these IDLs on demand. Another utility we get from Kinobi is the ability to generate program clients in various languages and frameworks. For instance, we have a JS client that's compatible with the brand new Web3.js. Speaking of, the new Web3.js is currently in release candidate, so please give it a try and give us your feedback. We're already generating a Web3.js client for Solana core programs, and other teams such as Orca and Tensor are doing the same for their own programs using Kinobi. We also have a JS client for UMI, a Rust client, and even a C++ client for gaming. But soon you'll be able to generate not just clients, but whole apps, right? For example, CLI tools, documentation website, or React components that you can plug in your D app. One last cool thing about Kinobi is you can use it a la carte. And what I mean by that is, imagine I have an app that uses 2 Solana programs. Now, these programs offer Kinobi IDLs, but they don't have JS clients that I could then use for my app, right? So what do? Well, I can create my own custom Kinobi IDL by merging their IDLs together and cherry-picking the bits that are relevant for my app. Now, all I need to do is generate a new client from that custom IDL. And now I've got all I need to interact with these programs without any external dependencies. And that's it. That's Kinobi in a nutshell. Kinobi is community-driven, so thank you to all the different people that contributed to the different parts of the machine. And thank you, Metaplex Foundation, for having initiated the project in the first place. My name is Loris. Here is the repo. Thank you.